Well, today we are just going to take some time to go over the TELUS TBM IoT project. And Nick here is lovely enough to go ahead and lead on that. So Nick, can you just explain a little bit of like an at a glance and what this project was and how it came to Architect?
Sure. So TBM stands for TELUS Business Marketplace, and it is envisioned as a one-stop e-commerce forward web location for purchasing, administering, and managing any enterprise level connectivity products. Right now it's IoT connectivity, and generally these are very high touch sales and deployment experiences for customers. Prior to the TELUS Business Marketplace, which, by the way, is a first to market. Prior to that, there's an awful lot of conversations regarding sales. So these are very, very high impact, high value products that are generally being deployed by and for large enterprises. And then once that is signed, there's an awful lot of deployment and integration required. And generally that needs to be done by the customer's developers, or at least someone has to set up developers to go in and actually attach that together. But with TBM, that entire process is streamlined. I think the number that they reported was 96% improvement delta in time to deploy from before. And so a customer can navigate to marketplace.telus.com. They can browse the products that are available. They can grab an estimate of what the subscription will look like so that they can take it away and vet and compare and then return. They can make the purchase and they can configure it right there all in one place. Generally, the idea is to make it much quicker and easier for new customers to join TELUS and to access the various products that TELUS is offering connectivity to. The way that we came to it was that they had an IoT offering, and they asked my team to design a dashboard for it. Similar issue where in order for a customer to access these IoT offerings, they would have to have their developers trained on that tool. They'd have to collaborate directly with that provider. And so what we built was a user-friendly wrapper to allow for someone who's a bit less technical to manage and administer those IoT capabilities. After the success of that project, which was called Project Tetra, they came back to us and they asked us to help with the redesign of the actual marketplace front and the full journey. TELUS had a earlier version of the TELUS Business Marketplace that was focused around enterprise software in general. And the other piece that was a bit of a complexity is that it was built on an e-commerce delivery platform that it needed to interact with, but it had some complexities that made working with conventional front-end designs a little bit difficult. What it really needed was a differentiating factor. And so I think that refocusing it on these connectivity products really helped to differentiate it, because here there's a real need to make this simpler and clearer. And what was an interesting challenge here is that because this is first to market, so we're following e-commerce best practices, but the journey is a little bit different. In e-commerce, generally, you want a user to sit down and make the purchase and check out all in one visit. But it's something like this, when you're making sales in the amounts of sometimes hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars, you know, the customer is going to want to take some time to vet it with themselves. So we had to make sure that we built in a couple checks and balances to make sure that they don't lose their progress, they don't lose their configuration, and also we expect them to take their estimate away and return and maybe tinker with it a little bit more. What's really exciting about it to me is that it's all consolidated into one dashboard after the fact. So any connectivity product that a customer ends up with, they can manage directly there in one location at the TBM console. So we built the full journey, not just the e-commerce checkout journey, but also the admin config journey after the fact. So it really is a one-stop shop, a hub, I suppose, for managing this kind of connectivity at the enterprise level, which is a really exciting challenge. You know, when you think about e-commerce, you're thinking about a shop where you're, setting up a shipment. You buy something off of like an Etsy store or something like that, and you get it shipped and you're done. But this is really something that uh, customers will be returning to, and it needs to be friendly all the way through, especially when the stakes are so high when we're looking at spends of these amounts. I'm lucky enough to work with an extremely talented and passionate team who really brought to the table a commitment and passion for that user experience. I know that's a trite thing to say, but because this was something where we didn't have a clear blueprint to just kind of copy over, we really had to think through every step of that journey. We started early with roughs. We worked closely with the product owner on TELUS side, who was an absolute joy, and we also, because there was sort of an earlier version that had been launched, we were able to take a close look at that and see where it had succeeded, where it needed to be rebuilt. And then, again, more broadly, because it was built on this existing e-commerce platform, we had to do a lot of conversation and collaboration with the team that runs that platform to understand what was possible. And then, also, like I said, TELUS makes it easy, but they have a very advanced design practice. So we collaborated very closely with TELUS's design and product leads to make sure that everything matched with their quality standards and their voice.